Equal pay day. And it's nice to have a day, but it's even better to have equal pay. And our job's not finished yet. Equal pay day means that a woman has to work about this far into 2014 to earn what a man earned in 2013. Think about that. A woman's got to work about 3 more months in order to get what a man got.
All right. Good grammar, by the way. Now, my grammar is awful, I'll admit that, but he's the President of the United States. Welcome to Give Me Five. That was the President yesterday. Equal Pay Day. And it turns out, we find out today that not only does the White House pay women 88 cents on the dollar compared to men, but that's worse than the average in Washington, D.C. So the White House is a worse offender than the average offender in Washington, D.C. Yet there he was. And the media, they couldn't get enough of this when it was over. They love him for this. At least Ruth Marcus does, of the Washington Post, appearing on MSNBC. Listen.
He is basically signing executive order, which will be a big deal for federal contractors. Think about all the federal contracts in the defense and intelligence communities alone. But it's also a big political issue.
It's a very big political issue, and it is a winning political issue for President Obama and Democrats, and they know it, which is why they're spending, in addition to the merits of it, why they're spending so much energy and attention on this issue. Women are a majority of the voters. There is a gender
to task. They love when I say that in the control room. And here's some of it, cut 26.
Let's start with the White House. The president today will sign a couple of executive orders to advance the cause of equal pay for women. Let's call this a textbook case, Margaret, of do as I say, not as I do. As the White House says women should be treated equally, Jay Carney, the press secretary, was asked yesterday about this statistic. Women at the White House get 88 cents on the dollar compared to men. Jay Carney says, well, we're making progress.
All right, well, look, do as I say, not as I do. That's the whole life story of Barack Obama and his minions. They don't want to have to live by the laws and the rules that they want you and I to live by. And here's that Jay Carney bite.
We have, as an institution here, have aggressively addressed this challenge, and obviously, though, at the 88 cents that you cite, that is not 100, but it is better than the national average.
It's better than the national average. I guess the coach would say, is that the best you got?
Yeah, it's kind of the best they had. I mean, Jay Carney's issue with the way these numbers are sort of aggregated is fine, except for that the problem is that it's the same way the national numbers are aggregated.
Right.
Exactly. The mitigating circumstances that make up those numbers that Carney is saying, well, you have to take all different things into account. That's the same with the national numbers. But the president makes believe that's not the case. Here's more.
He's saying, well, it's apples and oranges, and the statistics are more complicated than they show. You're taking the average, and that includes a lot of women who have lower paid jobs on the sort of bottom. And, you know, if you compare deputy chief of staff to deputy chief of staff, they make the same money. But critics of this sort of 77 cents number say the same thing, which is
Right.
it's more complicated than it seems. So that's something the White House has said.
And this is not new, Manu. In 2011, there was a study that said women at the White House made 18% less than their male counterparts.
He will never be invited to another White House party again, ever. One more from John King.
When Barack Obama was in the United States Senate, there was a study that found, and this is across all congressional offices, not just his, but the man on average made $54,000 a year, the women on average $45,000 a year. So he sort of knows he's sticking his hand in this blender, doesn't he?
That's right. Clearly not the message they want to send on Equal Pay Day.
He's sticking his hand in the blender. Bravo, John King. Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax Television.